Welcome to the Real Comic Heroes Podcast. Your adventure into the world of comic book movies starts here.
Greetings, citizens, and welcome to another adventure of the Real Comic Heroes Podcast. I'm Travis.
And I'm Patrick. We have a special guest today. Tierney, would you like to introduce yourself?
Why, yes, I would. I'm Tierney Steele of Far Too Many Podcast Projects.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what you said I could give you a link to one spot for the show notes, and that is exactly what I did.
Yep. If you want to know where Tierney's from, just go to her website. She'll tell you.
I'm actually from 2 podcasts this summer, for the record. I will plug The Sandlot 9 Minutes at a Time, which I'm doing with Rachel Mummer, and then hopefully it's out and things haven't gone awry. The Apocalypse Now Minutes should be starting up in mid-August.
That's a tonal shift.
Yeah. Well, at the end of that summer, all those kids went to war.
Went to Nam.
That's what they don't tell you.
To be fair, there is a Vietnam reference in The Sandlot, so
that's true.
The 60s at least. But yeah, no. But the first show that I guested on after, I was like, okay, I got to start plugging Apocalypse Now, was 101 Dalmatians, and I'm like, there's no audience overlap for these 2 shows.
Wow,
Nice.
So.
Trying to think of any Vietnam references in this movie that we're going to talk about today. I can't really think of any, but maybe some will come up.
We're around that time, and I will say it was nice to be covering a movie that I could watch. My kid joined me for the grand finale.
Okay.
So and I was like, all right, there's some S words, but in the grand scheme of things, you're gonna be fine.
Sure.
So
Yep.
as soon as I knew he could handle Edgar, I was like, oh, you're fine. This is gonna be
Oh yeah.
enjoy.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's kind of a good lead into what we're talking about, Men in Black. What's everyone's history with Men in Black?
Saw it at the theater.
Yeah.
With probably my middle brother. Brought him along. Really, it was the summer of the music video for me.
Oh, sure.
And now it's stuck in my head once again. So thanks a lot.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
Yeah.
I'm sure I saw it in theaters, but I don't really remember it. But this was repeated viewing. I mean, it would just be on. And it's one of those, it's so funny because I rewatched it and I was like, I better rewatch it. It's been years since I saw it. And it's like, oh no, I still remember every line.
Yeah.
Like there's no...
Yeah.
I just had seen it so many times. It'd be one of those things. If you turned it on, it didn't matter where you were in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
You're watching through the end now.
Yeah. Sounds like we're all about in the same ballpark here because I saw it in theater. It's one that we owned probably on VHS and just maybe DVD. It was it was a good family movie, like in my house anyways. Like my parents enjoyed it, I enjoyed it. It was one we could all agree on, and just watched it a lot. But probably haven't revisited it in easily 15 years. But I know that I've been in a bar, and TNT will be playing the movie, in a TV in the corner or whatever. So I know I've seen it, but haven't really revisited it in a long time.
I watched it via the TBS app.
Okay.
And I was just like, the world has changed. Like, this is ridiculous. Yeah, this was not a movie that my parents liked. This was right in the prime, because I was, I turned 13 in August 97. So this was in prime, like, your parents finally trust you to drop you off at the movies and meet with your friends and then pick you up afterwards. And you can go to Blockbuster and rent your videos and then go down and do slumber parties in the basement.
Sure.
And they don't care. Like, it was just Independence Day, and then the next summer, this movie. It was just Will Smith ruled our life. And then, like you said, with the music video, there was no escape.
Yeah, no, my dad owned the Big Willie style CD after this came out. Or, because he enjoyed Will Smith so much from this, and probably Independence Day a little bit. Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, was this another July movie?
Yeah, I believe so.
Or
I
close
know it
to
was summer.
Yeah, it was
but-
July.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, July
'cause-
2nd. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
because he ruled July for a little bit there until Wicca Wicca Wild Wild
Yeah.
West.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I was just thinking of that. That was the downfall because that wasn't as good. But
Oh yeah, that's an understatement.
well, yes, but it's just Wild Wild West has one of my favorite line deliveries in like all of cinema
Oh, yeah?
history. So it's Kevin Kline's, and now we have to run, and it does like no matter how crazy things are around it,
Yeah.
for that little bit, and also because it was summer Will Smith in that
Mm-hmm.
era for me, I cannot condemn it the way that
Sure.
it does deserve.
Was Wild Wild West the next summer, or was it like 99? Did he have 3 years in a row?
It was 90. Well,
I don't know if it was
I don't know.
98 or 99.
Felt like
I'm
it
gonna
was
let
later, like 99 to 2000.
it wouldn't have been after 99, but it could have been summer 99.
Yeah.
But yeah, he just
99. So
ruled
Yeah.
it.
I don't know what he did in 98, but
Took a break, hopefully.
Yeah.
He was working.
Yeah. Well, we had great debates in my family trying to remember, because I've seen all but the latest Men in Black. And someone was like, oh yeah, the second one wasn't as good, but the third one was okay. And I was like, I couldn't tell you what happened in the third one with a gun to my head. Like, I know
No.
I saw it, but I have no memory. Whereas the second one, because it was on TV all the time, I can tell you a lot about. I didn't think it was
Yeah.
as good as this one, but I didn't remember anything, like, terrible.
right. Yeah, I was shocked to see that the second one came out in 2002. I assumed it was 99, 2000. I mean, I'm surprised they waited 5 years for the sequel. And we saw it in theater, and I was very underwhelmed. And I don't think I've seen it since. So, and then the third one I watched on DVD at probably a year after it came out. So I've seen it once.
Okay.
You know, but yeah, both sequels I don't remember much of.
I was a movie theater junkie. I do feel bad that at least two things that I thought happened in the second one actually happened in this one. So that's not really a good indication.
Well, to be fair, they are designed to be forgettable, and you know that's the Men in Black.
Yeah.
They're part of your imagination.
And
Thank you.
please help me with my memory. Do you guys remember? Like, it opens with the Columbia, the Columbia statue lady.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is there something, maybe a trailer, or maybe it's part of the sequels that
Where it
Yeah.
turns into the UFO, right?
I thought?
Or some-
I
or the
thought
light-
her
The-
torch turns into the flashy
Yeah.
thingy.
It does.
Oh, yeah.
I was expecting that in here,
Me
but
too.
I don't know where it comes from. If it's from the second or third, or from a trailer for one of
Oh.
those. But okay, so I'm not
Yeah.
the only one that remembers
No,
that.
I definitely was waiting for
Yeah.
the Columbia torch to do
Okay.
something.
It was probably too early. That's when they were still keeping
Yeah,
it.
that hadn't become a icon, I guess.
Yeah, they keep like I think it's later on in the 90s, or it's probably the 2000s, where they start messing with the logos during movies more. I blame Batman, but
Yeah.
I couldn't believe how long the opening credits
Yeah.
were, and I
Yeah.
am a big person who argues for opening credits. I think this whole like names at the bottom of a screen during a TV show is crap. Like, where is my storytelling going on at the beginning of the show?
Yeah.
But I'm pro opening credits, but oh my god, I like Danny Elfman, but
Yeah.
wowza, that was like I could have gone and like made my popcorn during that time.
oh yeah,
These opening credits are a real bridge from Beetlejuice to the millennium. What year was
wasn't it the
Beetlejuice?
same as Adam's Family credits?
Maybe.
Oh.
It's same director, right?
Yeah, that's what I was
Similar.
thinking when I saw it. It reminded me of the Adams Family. I don't
Okay.
know if it's the first one or second one, but I remember that style
Yeah.
with him before.
I don't know. It's actually what's happening in the opening credits. We've got this like dragonfly thing that's flying around, and I've always taken this to be just a dragonfly, a bug. I've heard other podcasts, or I've seen other like articles that say this is an alien and it's like arriving to Earth, and it gets killed immediately. But I've never seen it that way. I don't know if you guys.
No, and bugs are gonna come up
Yeah.
later. So
Okay. glad I'm not the only, when I heard that, I was like, wait a minute, have I misread this entire opening, wrong the entire time? But yeah.
Just a crappy opening.
It's fine. It does go on too long, but I had no idea. It smashes into this windshield, and it's Uncle Rico from Napoleon Dynamite, John Grise, driving. Like he's the one, shepherding all these illegal immigrants.
Wow, does this scene hit different?
Yeah,
in
yeah,
2022.
for sure.
Oh my goodness.
It's an interesting, play on the whole illegal immigrant thing when it's
Yeah.
literal aliens. Yeah.
They would literally be called illegal aliens.
Yeah.
Back then.
I'm not sure what agency these guys are with. I don't know if it's just
Patrol.
a county patrol, but I think some of them are INS agents. But the main guy,
they've got their little border patrol patches.
yeah,
but...
okay. The main guy is Frederick Lane, is a that guy. I know him most from Lost, Agent Mars on Lost. But once Tommy Lee Jones rolls up, and he really makes this movie. I mean, it's definitely a Will Smith vehicle, but it's an equal partnership with these two. He's just the great, stoic, calm, straight man for most of it. He gets to be a little goofy at times, but he's the perfect,
yes, please.
choice.
Who's this one?
He has the best line reading in MIB history. I'm sorry. And we'll get to that.
Okay.
Fair enough. We'll get there. When was U.S. Marshals was just a little bit before that.
It was probably 95, I'm guessing.
Yeah. Tommy Lee Jones ruled
Yeah.
late afternoon weekend television there for a while.
Because his big thing I remember him from was just The Fugitive.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
The outhouse monologue or whatever.
Doghouse, chicken house, outhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he kind of ruined it with the Batman movie with Two-Face.
Yeah. There's a couple moments in this movie where he gets a little wild and manic. He gets a little Two-Face, but it's appropriate, I think. But I really like the way this whole intro scene, it throws you in the deep end. Suddenly they're dealing with a guy who's in disguise as an alien, and you kind of get the perspective of the INS guy who's seeing this from the outside, but it explains so much so quickly that these guys are just here to kind of hunt down aliens who are not where they're supposed to be. Agent K even says, you broke out of prison or something like that. I guess we can assume there's an alien prison in Mexico, but you see that they get to use these gadgets and everything, so you kind of understand that they've got more technology than some government agencies do. So it does a lot really quickly, I think. Just kind of throwing you into the deep end. They will kill an alien
to protect a human.
Yeah.
But if he hadn't attacked the human, there was no,
Yeah.
They were just having a conversation.
And I also like that they're not concerned with the people crossing the border. The other folks that are in the van, they don't care. They're fine to go on about their business. They're just concerned with keeping the aliens in check. So
yeah, I don't really like this alien.
Okay.
Except for one thing where his eye can telescope back,
that's
behind
fun.
his head. But the weird flipper things, and I don't know, I just didn't like the look of it.
Yeah,
honestly,
they really used this alien design, in that music video for the movie.
Yeah,
because it was just this is the
Jar Jar
design
Binks.
that's dancing around with Will Smith. Yeah, and it's Rick Baker who does a lot of the creature designs and model making and all that stuff. The alien head that he's holding, or the human head on the stick that he's holding, is, I think, holds up really well. After they kill the alien who's about to attack the INS guy, we get a little scene with Kay and his partner D, who looks like Stan Lee. I mean,
I love it so much.
Yeah.
I think he should have retired a while back.
Yeah. It especially this obviously
He made Tommy Lee look young.
I know.
I didn't think that was possible.
Yeah.
Even when Tommy Lee was young.
Yeah. He's 36 in this movie.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it was a rough 36 years for Tommy.
Wow.
No.
I had not done that math.
No. He's
no,
probably
yeah,
in
that
his
was a
50s
joke.
or
Yeah.
60s.
Oh, okay. Oh, thank God. Oh, thank God.
But the fact that you believe that,
It was a different time.
Yeah. I like that Dee knows and accepts that he's about to be neuralized, and he's fine with it. He gets this little moment to look at the stars and say he's going to miss everything. But my question is, why do this here, out in the field? Why not go back to the MIB facility, work on a backstory, like come up with your plan your
What is Dee's
retirement
plan?
Yeah, like make it. You're creating more work for yourself by flashing this old man in a desert, and now you got to explain why you're out here in the desert. I don't
wonder
know
if it knocks you out because you have to remove so many years
I don't know.
or something. Because most of the time it's just a few moments that they're flashy thinging people.
And there's like a blink, it takes a moment of disorientation. So
Yeah,
Because at the end of the movie, you get that guide from Tommy Lee that, here's like minutes, days, and years.
yeah.
So there's different settings. Although I don't know I couldn't imagine if he started when he was like in his 20s and now all that's gone and he's this decrepit old man.
Right.
Like what that does to your brain.
Yeah.
Or if they implant like new memories or something.
stop making me want to watch that horrible Rebel Wilson movie that just came out.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's
No
a perfect
offense
example.
if it's actually good. I have not actually seen it, obviously. But
Yeah, I think she wakes up and she's like 38. So that's decrepit and
Yeah.
old, right?
if you were 18 a few moments ago,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
it is. Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yikes.
A lot of questions with this one. but
Yeah.
It's a silly movie, so we can move on.
Right.
Yeah. So we answer none of them.
Right.
Nope. Just go with the flow. All is well.
I like the transition, from saying like telling his partner you won't miss the chase, and then the flashy thing, and then we're on a foot chase with Edwards and this this alien that's running.
Yeah. Will Smith's clothes
Oh man,
before his MIB days are so rough.
they are.
Like I can't imagine a cop dressed like that with like or how he ran without that thing coming off his waist. I mean, that doesn't.
Yes, that's
It's-
unrealistic.
It's like also plays a role as his holster at one point.
Yeah.
Like, but anyway,
the
I just-
whole point is to show he's not the by the book cop.
Right.
it's
He's
so
a man of
stupid,
action and fashion, I guess.
though. I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I
Yeah.
just had some gripes with his outfit choices there.
Yeah. There's something that I don't think I ever realized until I'm in a chat group with Liz Whitaker from Mean Girls Minute, and she was watching this and kind of live tweeting her experience with the rest of our group, and she pointed out that when he says he gets in the alien's face and says NYPD, that means I will knock yo punk ass down, and I never connected that he was connecting NYPD with knock your punk ass.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
It just never dawned on me until she pointed that out.
Oh.
And then
we used to
when you
see
think
that.
about it, like knock doesn't start with an N; it starts with a K.
Yeah.
But it's funny. It totally works now that I,
That is. Yeah. So I grew up in the suburbs. Like I'm in Connecticut, but one of those where it's like the train goes into New York
Sure.
every day. The dads all wait for the train.
Yeah.
Sort of suburb communities. Basically Mad Men, but the 90s
Oh.
instead of the 60s. And they were on the other line that goes into Grand Central. And so like New York City was our playground. That's where you went.
Right.
You skipped school. That's where you went. You went there for everything. And so, yeah, I don't know how to explain what this movie meant to us before 9/11. Like it's such a freaking cliche, but it's so true.
Sure.
Like this movie is a time capsule to my childhood.
it looks like they use a lot of actual New York locations for filming.
that sidewalk right along the way that is laid out. Yeah, it just it and then later when he's like sitting and looking at the skyline and stuff, it was just like, oh my god. And like there's a reference to like, this is New York, of course. It just, it was a freaking different time, and my heart just like grew 3 sizes watching it.
Oh, that's cool.
That was like the big transition from New York being a cesspool in movies to kind of a quirky, action-packed location. Because before, like the 70s and 80s, New York is like, it's basically Mad Max.
Yeah.
I mean, you even have Escape from New York, where
thank you. I was trying to think of what is the name of that Kurt Russell movie.
But here it's starting to kind of transition in the 90s, and TRL's taken over Times Square, and
oh my god, we almost flipped a bus once. We had gone into New York to see Beauty and the Beast on Broadway, and we drove through Times Square, and it was while TRL was recording, and all of us ran to the side to see the studio, and the bus driver was like, oh my god, get back on the other side of the, like, belt out the bus.
Jeez, Carson Daly really had the drawback.
Yeah.
Who knew? But I still get thrown off when I see the Twin Towers, though, in movies. It's jarring every single time.
I watch For All Mankind, and they are this current season is in the 90s, and so all their newscasts that are fake, because it's an alternate history for those who don't watch it. It's an alternate history, and I am now starting to like sit on the edge of my seat wondering if they will do 9/11 in this universe. Or if it will not. And But those newscasts are not a hint yet, because that is what it was. Like, that was my local news, and guess what? That was the skyline that they used every broadcast. Like, it's weird. I just saw someone who was saying, like, when it came out, they made fun of the fact that The Matrix referred to 1999 as the peak of humanity.
Oh, wow.
And now they're like, maybe it was the peak of humanity, actually. Man. Like, that aged better than I thought it would at the time. Anyway, I'll stop depressing all your listeners by bringing up Terror Attack. But
that's funny. There's a point in this chase with this alien, and they're kind of grappling with each other, and he knocks this alien gun out of his hand, and the moment where it just blows apart into a bunch of little sparklers, that really does not hold up. It's a clear, we'll shoot the gun on the ground, and then we'll just cut to the gun's gone, and we'll add in some sparkle effects. It's just a very like almost 1960s level of production, and maybe that's what they're going for. But the rest of the movie doesn't really do cheap special effects like that. So it's a quick little moment, but it's always stood out to me as just being a very poorly done special effect. But what are you gonna do?
I got over it because I was too busy being really upset about this museum's complete lack of security.
Yeah, he just shoots out a window and nothing.
Just an internationally renowned museum. Shoots out the door and runs up. Nothing. No alarms going off.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to like hold up his badge and shout NYPD as he runs past anyone. No.
It's interesting too, because they don't. I mean, I know that it's the Guggenheim, but if you didn't know this was an art museum, the movie doesn't show you it's an art museum, because you never see a wall with any artwork. It's that they managed to do all the camera angles from, you just don't see anything what this building is. And I don't know if that's maybe they'd have to clear certain things if they showed certain artwork. I don't know, but
I did notice at one point you can see stuff along the wall behind Will Smith, and it looks like it's covered almost in drop cloths.
Oh, interesting.
So I was trying to wonder, like, were they between exhibits and that's why they were allowed to do this, or what? I don't know.
But yeah, I had no idea it was a museum.
Okay.
My ignorant Midwesternness seeping through. I thought it was a fancy parking garage for a second.
Oh, it's just because it's such a weird shape.
Yeah.
Like, it's such an iconic shape.
Spiral and circle ramps, so I just assumed it was a parking garage of some sort.
But that should still have some sort of alarm going off after he shoots out a window.
Yeah.
Like, just pure basics here, folks.
Well, everyone knows New York shuts down pretty much at like 9.
Sure, there's no nightlife.
Oh yeah, that's what it's super famous for.
Yeah.
And I don't know what this guy's connection is later with Edgar, because he says, he's coming, he'll be angry or something like that before he jumps off the roof, and he says, your world is about to end. And I don't know, is this guy a bug? I don't know. I don't
Calls
know.
him a cephalopoid or something.
Yeah.
Which sounds bug-like.
I wonder.
Yeah.
I would have to think about the timing of this. Perhaps he was supposed to meet Edgar?
Right.
And, like, he didn't set off a landing beacon, and that's what leads to the crash, maybe?
Could
I
be.
thought he was supposed to do something with the jeweler or something.
Okay.
Like, maybe he was supposed to acquire it and meet him, maybe.
Oh. Yeah.
That could be.
That would make sense.
Or, locate it rather than...
Yeah.
Because when he gets there, he's just hitting crap left and right trying to find it.
Yeah.
And the movie doesn't really... It doesn't ask this question in this moment, and you're waiting for an answer to it. It's just, in watching it, I'm like, who is this guy? How does he connect to the bigger, thing that will carry us through the movie of, like, Edgar and his plan and everything. But
I like to think it's one of Edgar's millions of children.
yeah, but then I'd like to see something bug-like about this guy.
Hey,
the
blinked his
eyelids
eyelids?
don't feel
Yeah.
like something that
That's
Edgar
not
does.
Bug.
Yeah. So
Wait a second, my dog has 2 sets of eyelids.
what?
Oh, dear God.
Your dog is an alien.
They got those creepy red versions of their eyelids,
Oh,
like when they're sleeping.
yeah.
I finally made the connection.
Yep.
There we go.
And then we transition to, the farmhouse, the upstate New York farmhouse with Edgar and Beatrice. And, oh man, I love this scene
perfect.
so much.
Yeah.
And
It's a loving relationship.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, these two are just so in love.
The
And,
truck and its owner.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
The real love story.
That's
of
right.
the
Yeah.
movie.
I like that you get a brief kind of glimpse of Vincent D'Onofrio as Edgar before he's killed and skinned, and goes through the rest of the movie, as the bug in the Edgar suit.
I love how she says Edgar.
I know.
Edgar.
Edgar, your skin's hanging off your bones. This is
Edgar suit.
Siobhan Hogan, and she's a national treasure as far as I'm concerned because of this
Yes.
performance. But yeah, just I wonder if they won any kind of makeup awards, because they set up the skin suit here, and he gets progressively more and more like rotten.
Yeah.
But just seeing him here, it's so good. It's such a good performance, and the way Vincent D'Onofrio like plays Edgar, it feels like it's something inside us, his skin, trying to be human. Like he nails that just his motions, the way he talks. It's so good.
I love the practicality of
Yeah.
it too. And today this would be CGI, like
Sure.
100%. And it's not like when the skin flops and it's like, this is the Edgar suit. Like, oh man.
Yeah.
And that's they built that.
Yeah.
They made that. Flopped it out of a hole and then pulled it back down.
I didn't quite understand the eyes getting gradually grosser and grosser, because I don't think the suit had eyes.
How do you mean?
Like, as the movie goes on, they
Yeah.
get paler and paler,
Yeah.
like they're. But maybe he had the eyeballs for safekeeping. So, I don't know. It's weird. That and just the mechanics of that creature fitting inside of that.
That I've
yeah.
always that's never set right with me either. But yeah,
It's like,
That's a movie magic right
Yeah.
there.
how does he like contort? Like, I didn't know bugs could do that.
right. Yeah.
Like, that's a lot of. And you do see that it's uncomfortable
Mm-hmm.
with his
Mhm.
performance, like especially like in the car where he's like trying to lean against his hand,
Trying
you know,
to, yeah.
Yeah.
be all casual.
Uh,
But yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Like the voice throws me off. It sounded like a robot voice in this
Huh.
opening sequence when he crashes. And
oh
he's
yeah,
talking
yeah.
about put down
The
your weapon.
projectile on the
Oh,
ground.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
and he's like, your terms are acceptable. Like, it sounded more robotic.
Right.
Than...
That is interesting because at the end of the movie, he doesn't speak at all. So I forgot that he could talk. You know, I don't know why he could talk as Edgar, but I forgot that he
sound like Edgar. But
yeah,
he's got some abilities we just can't figure out.
Yeah.
Just leave it at that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed the makeup work on D'Onofrio. It was awesome.
We go to the interrogation scene, or I guess it's a debrief kind of scene with Edwards and his superiors, and I do like the way the other officers giving him shit about not keeping up, or maybe why couldn't the other officers keep up? And I love the bit about
this is another time capsule.
Yeah,
you would never have this scene in a movie today. And there would be complaints online about the fat shaming.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
I think the fact that both of them give as good as they get, like, it doesn't seem as gross as it could if this guy was like, oh, stop picking on me. It's like, no, he's giving it right back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I still love the if you were half the man.
Yeah.
I am the half the man you are.
It got me.
Yeah.
I'm not ashamed to admit it. I know it should be. It was a stupid joke, but it was like
it's
a dad joke almost.
I love the introduction here of why am I blanking on her character's name?
Laurel.
Laurel,
yeah.
Thank you. Because I always wanted more on her.
Sure. Yeah, because
I was also into the X-Files at this point, and I was just like all in on this character.
Okay.
Little Scully vibe.
Oh, right, yeah.
Because she was like a medical person.
She's like, she has seen some stuff, and we never get to find out like what she was gonna tell him.
Well, and the fact that she pops in, says, hey, come down to the morgue, I've got something to show you. She steps out, Kay neuralizes her, and then walks away. Like, what did you do to her?
Nope.
Oh yeah.
It is a great little brief introduction to her. And then we won't see her for a while. I mean, she comes in, not late, but, halfway through the movie.
And she will be like a totally different person then.
Yeah.
But that's okay. That's okay.
But then they kind of go on a almost like a ride along with
Field trip.
Kay and Edwards. They go and they go to Jeeves, Tony Shalhoub's character in this movie. Just another like great performance. A lot of fun. Just seeing him. I like that he goes in. Edwards goes in first and just kind of harasses him about selling, guns or whatever. And then Kay steps in and he's already got his weapon drawn. And I love the way that Edwards just goes with Kay as far as doing this good cop, bad cop routine on Jeeves. And up until like once Kay then shoots him in the head, then, he realizes like this is not okay. He draws his gun, tells him to, to drop it and everything. But then I love that it's capped off with Kay being like, I warned him. You warned him. Like, just very nonchalantly.
Yep.
Like, he knows that this is not a big deal. So.
And that pays off very well in the second movie. That's probably one of the best payoffs.
Okay.
It grows back.
I'm still distracted by his capri sleeves on his shirt that are like a mile long, but they're still a t-shirt technically.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
I guess Jay's ensemble.
Yeah.
It's like the biggest t-shirt, like he stole it from his dad's closet.
Gotcha.
It just drives me nuts every time I see it.
Baggy clothes were definitely in.
I know. I love that you're turning into the fashion police on this episode.
It like goes down to his like mid forearm. It's not a short sleeve shirt anymore. Like,
it's crazy though. If you watch TV shows from this era, like I'm so sorry to the men of this era. Not that we had it much better, but like clothes just did not fit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like you're looking at a catalog and you're like, those pants don't fit that man, and yet they are being sold that way.
Yeah. I mean, I think Clueless and mentioned that in their show, like, or in their movie with not Reese Witherspoon. What's her face?
Alicia
Silverstone.
Alicia
Silverstone.
Alicia.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Alicia. Sorry.
Not that I watched that clip like 5 million times.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a time.
But-
And you forget how bad, like, you kind of have this idea, like, oh yeah, boys wear baggy clothes. And then you watch, like, the first season of Dawson's and you're like, Jesus Christ, none of these clothes fit these guys.
Dawson's Creek.
Which I was also watching this year, so.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Started after, but-
important question. What part does not grow back?
Mm.
Because he mentions
I
next
always
time.
assumed it was his misunderstanding.
Yeah.
Indiana Jones fans get
Yeah.
Because the head seems like a pretty important piece that
Right.
is
But his-
complicated to grow back.
His
but-
brain may not be in his head.
Ooh,
No.
that's a good point. Yeah.
You know, he could be. Well, I don't get the sense that this is an alien in a human, skin suit. So I don't know, but
Yeah,
Who
'cause the
knows,
suit
yeah.
grows back then.
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, this is an alien who can, like, conform as a human.
yeah.
He's
Yeah.
got like
As
a
a
core
human.
or something.
He's like Odo
Yeah.
from Deep Space Nine.
Ah!
He's a shapeshifter kind of thing.
I'll
There
take
we
your word
go.
for it, nerd.
Yeah, yeah. But I think the Jeebs, I think this whole bit holds up. I think it looks pretty good. There's definitely some stuff in the movie that does not hold up CGI wise, but this totally works, I think.
Yeah. I liked his line reading. He's like, he looked all right to me.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, even the fact that they get Tony Shalhoub to play the character, he still looks weird enough. They give him a great lazy eye. I think they make his nose bigger.
His ears
we've
have
been-
to be bigger. I don't
Yeah,
remember
oh
his
yeah.
ears,
We've been
like-
watching a lot of Marvelous Miss Maisel, just rewatching it,
Yeah.
and he's great in that. But yeah, he's definitely different enough here.
That's exaggerated. He's like a caricature
Yeah,
of
yeah.
himself.
Yeah.
Then after this, and obviously Edwards is he's seen some shit now. Kay decides to flashy thing him here, and I think it's an odd choice given that he then goes has egg rolls with him. Why neuralize him here and then drop this if you're interested, if you want to know more, if you don't feel like I forget how he phrases it, but he basically entices him, if you want to know more, meet me here tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know.
what if this way, if Edwards decides that guy was crazy and just never sees him again,
Yeah,
no harm done.
that's true. I guess he could have neuralized the last 15 minutes, I suppose, and not the alien that he encountered, previously, I suppose.
That's just a weird thing that he never gets a good answer.
Yeah.
I just picture Tommy Lee guiding him like he's almost like a zombie to this restaurant.
Right. How do you get from there to there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is where my favorite line reading is from.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Where he's like, honey, this one's eating my popcorn. That's the
Yeah.
closest we get to Two-Face, I think.
Oh,
Tommy
see, I
Lee,
disagree with that.
He's so weird in
Yeah.
that moment to me.
Yeah. Later,
Like,
when
just the
he's yelling
voice.
at the bug to eat him,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
he gets very wild there.
yeah.
No, my favorite line reading of his we'll get to is when he visits Beatrice, and his whole idea is give him time to get the wrong impression. He's Mr. Sings, and she goes, "You want some learning? Oh yes, please."
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's another good one.
It's just a perfect yeah, he's so good in that. But yeah, I love Will Smith playing along here.
He's pretending like he knows what's going on. Yeah.
Yes, that is very well done.
Right.
You get the cover up of him drinking too much, and that's why
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, lay off the sauce, kid.
Mhm. Then we go to the testing sequence of the movie. He shows up at the battery park, facility. And yeah, this whole sequence is fantastic. It might be my favorite section of the movie. Just when he shows up, he's obviously the odd man out. And I think he is, even with the police, he's the odd man out, just with the way he dresses. Here, he's still wearing, very ridiculous outfit. Or no, here he's just in the red jacket and jeans. And,
Yeah, this one's not that bad.
That's right. Yeah, but he's still, he's not one of these uniformed guys that are surrounding him. And it's just a fantastic scene.
I love the look. Mr. West Point gives him when he offers him the table, which I think
Yeah.
is a very
Yes.
that is a very good character clue.
Uh-huh.
Like, he does all this and he's like,
You want to get down on this?
yeah.
And that's what I do love that about this test. The test is not what they're writing down doesn't matter. It is literally, the test is, can they figure out how to take this test? And he's like fed up with trying to, he's breaking his pencil. And other people are having trouble. So it's fun that just gets frustrated enough to drag this table to where he's sitting.
I just wondered why nobody can do crisscross applesauce and just sit on the ground and take the test.
Oh.
I wondered about that too. Why not just sit at
It's
the
not
table?
quantum physics. Just sit down on the floor and take the test.
Yeah.
Well,
Everyone's trying to like go and work the egg into the equation,
Right.
and it's like the
Yep.
floppiest paper you've ever seen. It's
Yeah.
basically tissue paper. I don't know. It was always like, how dumb are these guys that they're going to try to do this?
Well, that's the whole point. Yeah. Then the gun training or gun, shooting range test
little
is
Tiffany.
also just it is fantastic. Edwards, can you tell us why little Tiffany had to die?
Yeah. As someone who lived in a city, I definitely have like been walking around like, it's okay. Little
Yeah.
Tiffany's not here. Like, just not like any like crazy I was in danger moment, but just that little like back of your neck, like, I'm just gonna walk a little bit faster through this area and think about Men in Black and it's gonna be fine.
Nice.
No, if you just want to keep people away from you, I learned just carry some quantum physics books and
There
look
you
way
go.
too young.
Yep.
Those books are way too advanced. She about to start some shit, Zed.
Way too advanced for
Yeah.
her reading level.
It's funny because when I first watched this movie, probably for the first few years, I didn't then understand that Zed was how you pronounce the letter Z, depending on where you live, I guess.
You had not been a Spice Girls fan at this
No.
era, or
Well,
you would have caught that.
I was a fan of some of the Spice Girls, Ginger Spice in particular.
You weren't
But
listening
no,
to the
I
lyrics,
was
though.
not listening to the music much. No.
What? Not Zigga Zigga? Or
No.
whatever the hell they
Yeah.
were saying.
I did watch a lot of their music videos, but yeah.
on silent.
Yeah. Different reason, so.
Yep. Yeah, I was a ginger man myself, so I'm with you.
There you go.
I remember the day I found out Prince William liked Baby Spice. It broke my heart
Ugh.
because I realized I would never like me.
Yeah.
Anyone who had a crush on her was not going to have a crush on me.
Wow.
I mean, not that was likely anyway, but it was kind of the nail in the coffin.
She was the creepiest persona. Like,
I don't
hey,
know.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
pretend
yeah.
like I'm a baby.
Right.
I'm like, why is that attractive?
I think it was a blonde thing. Although he married a brunette, so who knows?
Hmm.
But anyway.
Yeah, but it's the royal family. So did
Yeah,
you marry
yeah.
her? Or
I loved it took me a while to like pick up on that his name was Zed, whatever, but I love when he's saying no to Tom and he's like, tell your friend Zed I had a lovely time and
Yeah.
thanks for that, but bye.
Yeah. Zed gets in one of I think is it's a very subtle burn that I definitely didn't pick up before, but this time watching it, when he walks back into the room after he's basically telling everyone, you're everything we've come to expect from years of government training. And that is a nice subtle burn because he's saying, the problem solving has been trained out of you, So that was really clever. But yeah, that leads us to the walk and talk kind of explanation from Kay, and this is where he's showing him photos, I believe, of like the alien crash landings and everything, and kind of going back to the 60s. And
that line, "Oh, you brought that tall
Yeah.
flowers," is one of those like I love to use just completely out of
Yeah,
context
yeah.
whenever aliens come up.
yeah, and then that goes to one of I know this whole training sequence was kind of like I said is my favorite section of the movie, and then it's capped off here with something I quote or at least think of a lot. Edwards is asking, why the big secret? People can handle it; they're smart, and the way Tommy Lee Jones gets to deliver his line of a person is smart. People are dumb, panicky, dangerous animals, and you know it. And that's something I think of now more than ever, it's so applicable. It's such a well-written line, and it makes so much sense that, yeah, a single person can handle a lot, but you get a group of people together and they become wild. So
what you're telling me is we all need to become hermits?
basically, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I lost it during the lockdown stuff where I didn't get to see people either.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure how great that line is now to me, honestly.
Oh,
Because a person can get in their own head real easily.
Sure. But
I'm currently in a fight with the Instagram algorithm, which is, okay, so you're a white woman who likes yoga and thinks about during lockdown, I followed a lot of homeschooling stuff because I was home with a kid alone, and I love seeing homesteaders' gardens. And every so often, Instagram is like, "Hi, would you like to follow crazy people?" I'm like, "No,
right.
no,
Yeah.
not interested, not interested, not
Yeah.
interested." So
Sudden-
anyway,
Sudden
my
uptick
own
on your targeted ads for tinfoil.
Yeah.
yeah. It's just, I get it. White woman, I'm a cat. Okay, fine, but no, I don't need the crazies.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. It's really hard when you first move. I moved into a house for the first time, and I was trying to put together like, oh, what would I need if like a storm knocks the power out? And man, you get directed to crazy people real fast when you're just trying to put together a simple emergency kit.
You need a concrete bunker.
No, thank you.
How to sterilize your own urine.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and I think like this movie being made in '97, like those crazy people existed.
Sure.
So
But they couldn't find each other yet. The
Yeah.
internet wasn't as,
I think this movie really kind of nails it with that.
Yeah.
And then, bad things are happening. Everyone's gonna run, but that's a later scene.
Yeah.
We're still a couple scenes away from that.
Yeah, that takes us to like it's when you get Edward shows back up. Now he's going to become Agent J, and he gets introduced to this facility, and it's odd. It's a cool like way they go from the elevator. They pan through this place, and you realize that it is a customs kind of. It's a port of entry.
Yeah.
And you get all these kind of crazy characters and aliens, but then as I'm watching it now, I'm kind of like breaking it down a little bit. It's weird to me that your customs and your MIB agents and like all where they sit and work, their offices, cubicle farm, and their like laboratory and everything where the confiscated weapons and technology is all like right here in this one big airplane hangar. I kind of wish that they had been levels or different sections or different, I don't know.
Goes down like 50 floors at least. So
Yeah.
you'd think they'd have different floors with different things, but it seems like it's more of an open concept.
Yeah. And I assume that
We
it
only
is
got this one building.
right. Yeah. We got one room, we put everything in it. And I mean that leads us to like the bouncy ball little section
prank.
that you get. That's kind of fun, but I think that's why everything is in this one space.
Yeah.
So
I appreciate that is one of those jokes that goes on too long, so it loops back around.
yeah.
It stops being funny for a while, and then by the end, it's funny again.
What works for me is when Zed just calmly like tilts his head out of the way of the
Yeah.
like he doesn't care. This is nothing new to him or whatever. But there's a lot of good creature effects in this. It is a nice setup of some future things. This is where Jay does see the really tall alien that will be dead later. We get the screen with the celebrity aliens that are like being monitored, 24/7. As a kid, like the only one that stood out to me was Stallone. And then like rewatching it and pausing it, like I see it's there's Steven Spielberg, Tony Robbins. I had to look this one up. The like top right is a little girl. I thought it was a little boy, but it's Chloe Sonnenfeld, the daughter of the director.
Oh.
That's funny.
Then Newt Gingrich, Sylvester Stallone, Al Roker, George Lucas, who I'd never noticed before. I always thought that was in the sequel when you get kind of the same thing. Isaac Mizrahi, who I know is a designer, but I would, that's a wouldn't have noticed. Danny DeVito, and then Dionne Warwick.
It's quite a murderer's row.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then you find out later Elvis was an alien, but he's gone to his home planet or whatever.
Just went home.
Yeah.
We get like the montage of racing. The question is,
Okay.
do they just find complete loners that don't have family?
Right.
Are they wiping their family's memories of
That's
them?
my same question. Yeah. They make it seem like if someone sees him, he'll be dismissed as deja vu and I don't know how that works. They don't answer the question of does he have friends and family?
Yeah, they just don't bring it up.
Yeah.
No. But I think that's what the whole setup, people at work hate him. He doesn't have anyone he goes home to.
Yeah. I'm surprised.
At any time they leave him, they just leave him on a park bench.
Yeah.
He's still there.
Yeah. I think if this were made today, you'd spend 5 to 10 minutes with Edwards, and you'd get to know that he doesn't have anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very Marvel, Disney.
Yes.
Oscar Isaac.
Oh, sure. Moon Knight.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I just lost so many credibility points with your listeners who are actually into comics.
Yeah, I mean, it's an odd sequence, and then I like the fact that they burn off his fingerprints, and they delete records of him, his social security, and all that stuff, and just identify him simply as Jay.
It's like he's still in New York, though. Like, there's still cops that would recognize him.
Exactly, yeah. I don't know. I don't get that, but I don't know. That is kind of the one big lingering question I think I've always had with this movie.
And now it's even harder to fathom wiping somebody's existence from, like, cameras and
for sure
internet. And, like, there's just so much that everyone knows about everybody.
I haven't seen Men in Black International. I don't know if they tackle that question or if they have an answer for...
It's probably just alien tech that can wipe you.
Easier, because if you wipe someone off the internet, how easy is it to wipe them from existence?
Yeah.
Everyone go watch The Net.
Oh, sure.
Because I'm also picturing somebody going into like a records facility with the paper copy of the birth certificate and taking those. And since it was a lot more analog back when Edwards would have been born, there's probably some white shirt person that doesn't get any cool sunglasses. And
now
see, that would be my job. I was just talking about this with the whole thing with like astronauts. I never wanted to go to space. I just wanted to be in mission control.
Yeah.
I wanted to not have any of the danger of actually traveling amongst the stars, but I wanted to be involved in NASA. And I was very like specific, at one point it's like, I'm going to work payload and blah, blah, blah. And so that would be me. I would be actually, and I have a librarian's degree. I would be excellent at that job, going into the archives and destroying the paper records. Like Tommy Lee Jones can tippy-tappy at his computer, but then that generates a report for me of where I need to visit for this guy.
You got to go to the Social Security office. You got to go to the hospital where he was born. Yeah.
Go to his high school, get his yearbooks.
Church records. Yeah.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
I love it.
Got to go kill all of his family members that might be alive. That's what they don't show.
Yeah. She'd just poison them. Don't make it messy. Gotta make it look like an accident.
There you go.
Just spray Pam on all their showers so they slip and fall in the tub.
Oh man!
Wow,
all
these
these accidents.
Really questionable. What's it called? Exchange program with the CIA.
Yeah. Because I always like the guys with the flamethrowers that were cleaning up at the beginning.
Yeah.
It's like that's the cool job.
So
they still get glasses because you never know when a flash is going to go off.
Yeah. So another, I guess, question I have: they set up like the next scene, which takes them out into the field. They got a hit come up on someone's leaving their containment area or whatever, and makes me wonder: are the aliens then? Are they tagged Do they have
It seems like
GPS
it.
on them? Because they know exactly where this alien that they're about to go talk to. They know he's on the New Jersey Turnpike, heading out of the city, and when we meet him, he's got a little alien ID card. So maybe that thing is chipped, I guess.
Yeah, that had a RFID before anyone knew what it was. That's alien technology, obviously.
Right.
I assumed it was like they knew their genetic makeup or something. It could scan it or something
Yeah.
like that.
Well,
maybe.
and later we're gonna see they can do it for humans.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you can put in a human in a town and get
Oh,
a hit
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
off the satellites. So
Yeah. So that.
But yeah, you're right. For tracking for setting off an alarm purposes.
Yeah. So there's some Big Brother elements of, and obviously that's what they do. They monitor and keep an eye on all these people. So it's just a little creepy.
Yeah, their satellites seem to be very convenient.
Yeah.
Like they can monitor anybody anywhere, kind of generic.
It's all that alien tech that they've got that they haven't
Velcro.
shared.
Mulder tried to warn us.
Let's see. I think as they leave, I think they might get in the car and you get the jokes about the driving around in a POS.
Yeah, I didn't know what that was at the time either.
As a kid, I thought that was like what this car was called. Now I understand it's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is where we meet Rosenberg, who meets his tall alien friend for lunch. And then
we skipped over something.
What's that?
The we get like a glimpse into the Bug's mindset. Earlier, he destroys the guy that's trying to terminate the.
Oh, sure.
insects,
Yeah. I forgot
and
about
then
that.
hijacks his vehicle for his
the Bug
spaceship.
Yeah. Okay.
But you get a glimpse into what triggers this thing and pisses him off.
Yeah.
But we get him stalking Rosenberg and nonchalantly leaning into his vehicle.
Yeah.
But what'd you guys think about the diner scene and them just talking like that? Does it sound like that to anyone else? Like while they're having their alien discussion?
Well, they are in a Russian cafe, I guess. So
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, I knew. I didn't know it was Russian. I think it's.
There's some really famous like Ukrainian and Russian little. If you could have a dive restaurant, if that makes sense, in New York City, and there's one of them that it would be open like 24 hours a day, so it was infamous. Like, all right, you've been out having your fun, and now you need some pierogies. Yeah, here we go.
Yeah, because I think the signage in the place it's not English, So I think you're meant to understand that they're not sitting around English-speaking Americans, necessarily. It's probably a neighborhood that has a lot of immigrants. So I think that they blend in well enough, I guess, is the way I understood it.
Yeah, it's New York to me, so I just assume
Yeah.
it's like a melting pot of
For sure.
everything. So I never thought
that
to
makes
think it's a specific restaurant for a specific nationality.
You do not pay attention to what someone at the table next to you is saying.
Yeah.
That is just pure etiquette.
It does. It makes sense. Kay even says most of them live here in Manhattan. It makes a lot of sense. It's probably easier to blend in.
I'd be paying attention to an 8-foot guy with a jaw like a Mack truck, though.
Yeah, that's true.
A guy who could draw some eyes even in New York, I think. At the very least, you'd be like, is he on the Knicks?
It's Mr. Hom from Next Gen.
Again.
I know.
I know.
I think he's probably most famous for being Lurch in the Adams movies.
There's your crossover.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He brought the font with him.
Right.
Yep.
I love them in the restaurant.
It's a sweet scene.
About Rosenberg.
Yeah.
Everything about him. I'm just like, I need to hug
I
you.
know. Yeah. They meet and they hug each other, and they just. It's a very just sweet scene, I guess.
Yeah. I like that giant guy is friends with the tiniest pocket-sized guy.
Well, I assume that the giant guy also has a little guy. I don't know. Maybe not.
Because of the autopsy, she would have
right
said something.
Yeah. Huh.
That's even better. That's when a duck is friends with a mastiff.
Yeah. It's just fun.
Yeah.
We get the best reveal of a death where he takes the guy's spot And he's on break,
Yep.
and then it cuts
Yeah.
to him folded underneath the table.
Yeah.
Or, no, gave him a break.
Gave him a
Oh, yeah,
break,
gave
yeah.
him a break. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
That's right.
Cracks
yeah.
me up every time, and it's so gross.
It's interesting that there's not a lot of buildup to them getting killed. You know, recognizes that their server is a bug, and they're pretty much just
Well,
he
he's
pokes
subtle
them through
about
the
it.
neck, and they're done.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I also this was right around the same time as Joe's apartment.
Okay.
So I don't
yeah.
think the fake cockroaches would have grossed, or the real cockroaches in some cases would have grossed me out as much at the time.
Mhm.
But now that I am older and have like lived in and had to deal with stuff, it's just like no, thank you, no, thank you at all.
Yeah. Ugh.
Do not want.
Yeah. Then we go to the Jersey Turnpike, kind of catch up with K and J, and the way they use
The other sweetest person in this movie.
yeah, Regic. Yeah, I like in the background you have this whole childbirth, Jay dealing with this alien, squid tentacle thing. But in the foreground you've got Kay talking to Reggie, and if you pay attention to the foreground, you understand that Reggie is concerned about something and really wants to get out of town. And, meanwhile, Jay's dealing with getting thrown out all around the car. One important thing I think that this scene does show us is that an alien can be physically larger than the human body that they inhabit. So I guess that kind of helps with later on with the bug being inside the Edgar suit, but I only just now thought about that. So
Yeah.
I always got distracted with this scene because just the color palette, the car, the clothes, everything is reading so much more 60s than the Men in Black suits of the 90s.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, because most of the movie is surrounded in concrete and gray and very washed out colors. But yeah, here we're in a very green, scenic park-like. Yeah.
As long as no one takes the cannoli, this is fine.
Yeah. Killed Sonny on the causeway.
Go quickly through the toll booths.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, they do. He just chucks that coin.
Yeah. I love this joke of, did anything about that seem weird to you?
Yeah. that is nice. It is interesting how much Kay is. He does ask for some insight or input from Jay, who has no experience with any of this. Because later on in the next scene, when they go and see Beatrice up in the upstate farm, he'll be digging in the soil, and he's like, "Do you know what kind of alien leaves this kind of trail?" So, I mean, he's mostly just talking to himself. It's a lot of what do you call them? Not hypothetical,
Thinking
but
out loud.
yeah. Then we do get that fun scene with again with Siobhan as Beatrice.
Before we do that, we learn something that my dad does still do from this movie is call tabloids the hot.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
That's my dad could take or leave this movie, but he did really enjoy the Kay character and the Tommy Lee Jones. And so, I'm gonna have to buy the White Album again, the hot sheets, like stuff like that.
Sure.
He's still, and that is one thing that the time period that earlier in the debriefing scene where Jay and Kay meet for the first time, those coffee cups, the Greek key blue coffee cups on the table are just wonderful. And that was one of the things. I now live in Massachusetts. I'm in the suburbs. I got nothing to do with the city. But my kid, when he was born, had a sippy cup that was designed to look like those New York City coffee cups. Because I was like, no, you will have some influence from my upbringing. And those coffee cups are what I brought to his childhood.
That's funny.
So, yeah, seeing just going to those little kiosks.
To get the paper.
It never occurred to get the paper, to get coffee, to get gum, to get cigarettes if you smoke. Like, they were just magical. Who needs Amazon when you have those?
Right. I think my favorite Tommy Lee Jones delivery is after the encounter with Beatrice, and he's talking to Jay, just kind of trying to work out what's going on here. They've now figured out that they've got a bug, because of the sugar water. clue and all that. And just the way he says, we've got a bug and it's terrorizing around Manhattan Island in a brand new Edgar suit. It's one of my favorite. If it were applicable, I would quote this line, forever, because it's such a great line. But I wish it was more applicable for quoting.
The neuralizing of Beatrice is so perfect. It's such a good.
Yeah.
And it pays off later. He's like, make it a happy
Yeah.
memory. It just they do so much character development in these little asides.
Yeah, Jay is really concerned with the mental effect that the neuralizer has, and I do like that carries throughout the movie. And this is where we go to the morgue and we get the proper kind of introduction to Linda Fiorentino's Laurel Weaver. I knew her from Dogma. I forget what year Dogma came out, but right around this time.
Yeah.
I think it was later.
Yeah.
Not by much. Maybe it was 98.
It might have been 98, yeah.
Yeah. That was my first we bought tickets for another movie and then magically we found ourselves in the Dogma theater. So
I actually saw her first in a movie called Jade, which is not a movie I should have seen at the age I was, but I was home alone for the evening and I was a kid and I don't know.
Laura's just such a weird character.
She is. She really
I love
is.
it, but it's a weird character.
Yeah. And they introduce her here, and it's kind of a, she's digging around in these corpses, and she realizes something's weird, and then you have Kay and Jay show up, and it's like they try to make it a meet cute, flirty scene with her and Jay, which kind of works here. Later, I don't think it works, but I like that. I like Kay introducing them as Mannheim and Black, because then later they'll introduce themselves later as Manville and White. Or I guess he did that with Beatrice. They were Mannheim and Black, and now they're Manville and White. Odd little reoccurring thing.
The FBI is not allowed to have a sense of humor.
Yeah, that
anyway,
we're aware of, yeah.
Sorry. We shouldn't just quote that scene. We'll be here all night. No, what drives me nuts is it is her character.
Mm-hmm.
She's completely consistent, but she's a weirdo.
Yeah.
She is a morgue working, flirting with guys while their hands are in bodies weirdo.
Yeah.
And the whole have we met before? I'm getting the weirdest feeling of deja vu. That.
I like that.
That works as a cute meet cute.
Yeah.
You have beautiful eyes is just strange.
Yeah. Well, and then she adds the little button of, would you like to know what I do at night when I'm all alone?
Yes!
Where is that going?
Yes.
Well, this will be
This little freak in the morgue.
Yeah.
I love her, but wow.
Because
it will be the same lady that starts pointing to her own groin area.
Yeah,
which makes no sense. I don't know why she did the point under the table thing like she does later, but she's also
that's different.
Yeah.
And Will or Jay is extra creepy in that portion as well.
Oh yeah,
he's like,
but this sets that up.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the problem is when he comes back later, he thinks she is continuing this,
right?
When actually it is a totally different
it's so
thing
gross.
that she's
Yep.
But yeah, I want to know more about this Laurel Weaver, who is an utter creep in the morgue, flirts with the guys that come in, knows something is up.
Mm-hmm.
Because she says, you see some weird things down here, she's putting it together on her own, completely outside of Tommy Lee Jones's world.
Yeah, I just enjoyed the whole fact that they're supposed to be believable as doctors.
Yeah.
And then he's just Jay's just yeah, we'll just start where you did after she just threw out a bunch of jargon.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course, yep, everything looks good.
He I like how he gets to play it off. He gets to be awkward and weird himself, and
it's nice because he's new at this, so he doesn't know what he's how to fake things,
right?
And doing a really bad job of things, but
Yeah,
it's kind of fun to watch.
Yeah.
I did kind of want it to be that she threw out all that jargon and that was a test that he wouldn't pass.
Sure.
Like, I feel like now if you were doing this, that's what it would be. It would be her being clever
Right.
and setting them up to prove they're not doctors. But it was the 90s, so she's got on one of the shortest skirts in the world,
Sure.
and this is just what it was.
Yeah.
Totally normal.
But we get the coolest alien in the movie.
Yeah.
I was just going to ask, is this when we meet our little
It
alien
is.
friend?
The little Arcalian, I think is what they're called.
Mhm.
Will's just got to
Um,
touch the little ear
Yeah.
thingy.
Yeah.
Which, as a prop, as a model, that the guy, he looks real.
Mm.
It even when he's laying there, at certain point, they probably had the actor laying there. But even when it switches to a fake body, that when the face slides over or whatever,
Yeah.
it looks so
Still
real.
looks
They
good.
did such a good job with this that even today, I don't think they do as good a job with fake people.
Yeah.
And this was such a good reveal
Mhm.
because I don't remember watching this for the first time, but like I remember kind of that feeling of shock
Yeah.
when it opened. Maybe people gasped or something.
Yeah.
I still don't get why he's dying because he got stabbed through the neck of
Yeah.
the body. So I didn't know if it was like poison or something or
Maybe.
Or some kind of life support system.
yeah.
Maybe, yeah, he might breathe something other than oxygen, and the bug may have pierced,
Cut that.
something,
Yeah.
knowing that was
Because he's
his.
having a hard time breathing.
Yeah.
And he did not die immediately.
Right.
No, conveniently.
So,
Yeah.
well, yeah.
He waited
is
just long enough
word?
to. Yeah, I love this little guy. What is word? I did. It's interesting that he does struggle with the language,
Yeah.
given that he seemed to not struggle with language when he was talking with his friend at the diner. So it
It could
almost
be like
They're mostly
yeah.
really his longest English sentence is what he says to Edgar.
okay.
Yeah. And he's
Yeah.
could be foreign, not
Yeah.
native to
Yeah.
New York. So a lot of people do that where they can't think of
Yeah.
the right word to explain what they're saying. So
Sure.
I mean, I didn't take that as
Okay.
too bad of a thing. It kind of made sense.
Yeah. And the amazing thing that this does with as little as you saw Rosenberg, and this scene is maybe a minute long, a minute and a half, but when he dies, you feel that death. You're sad because of it. The cat is sad that its
Mhm.
owner has died. It's really effective.
That's another one of the most realistic parts of this movie. When the guy brings things, goes, "Oh, there's a problem with the cat. It's
Yeah.
not this. It's your problem."
That's great. Yeah.
I, I really like when they're searching his place and they're like, this guy's really got a thing for his cat.
Yeah.
Like he's that creepy cat guy.
Mm-hmm.
And he brings it everywhere with him.
Yeah.
He was Paris Hilton before
Um,
Paris Hilton. He had like a
So
little
I
bag for
will-
it.
I will say it here. I have a cat who was obsessed with any time O'Ryan was on the screen.
Oh wow.
every time the cat did something on the screen, her ears like kind of perked up and she looked over to see that what was happening in the movie.
It's because cats are narcissists.
Yeah.
Everyone knows that.
Absolutely.
Like, this is a movie about a cat.
Yeah.
I don't trust cats. Sorry.
Yeah.
You both have.
Well, and we don't know that yet, so I'm sorry if I just spoiled it
Oh,
for
no.
anyone by saying the cat's name.
Totally fine. Because I think the whole Orion's Belt cat thing, I think, is pretty obvious as to the audience. I'm guessing. I don't remember ever that being surprised by that. It takes them a long time to understand, but obviously they
didn't.
wouldn't know the
Yeah.
cat's name is Orion.
Yeah, I didn't know the cat's name, so I didn't.
Yeah, they did a good job not revealing
Okay.
the name until after.
Because I was doing the
Already
same thing.
started.
I was looking like Constellation, and
Mm,
like
Yep.
okay.
because I didn't know Orion was the cat.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
for sure I didn't either the first time, but I wonder, just on rewatch, I wonder if it's
I knew there was something
Surprising.
with the cat.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
got to
okay.
be something about the cat
Yeah.
because otherwise, why is the cat still
Yeah.
in this movie?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
prominent.
But yeah, they do a good job of, you don't know the cat's name is Orion until well after Zed does his "this is Orion's belt" thing. Which, yeah, this is the part of the movie where I start to be like, so what order are the scenes in? I'm just gonna follow.
Yeah, because after this, you go. They neuralize her twice in very quick succession. Yeah,
Zapping
and
her
then
medical school away.
yeah.
I like that
Then they
line.
go back to the MIB headquarters, and this is where Kay, checks in on his wife or
girlfriend.
Not creepy at all.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
What I actually like about this is the line, the very cliche line that Jay gives him, that, oh, it's better to love and lost than to never have loved at all. And I love that Kay gets the 2-word response to that, try it. And that it's such a great response to such a cliche thing that no one wants to hear when they're feeling, loss or whatever. I think it's as ubiquitous as there are plenty of fish in the sea, no one, when they're feeling heartbroken, wants to hear, you'll move on, or whatever.
Well, and it helps reestablish Jay as young.
Right, exactly.
And inexperienced, where we just saw him flirting in the morgue and doing all that stuff, and now we got to kind of put him back down in his place as the person who doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just like the computer interface. Like the gray boxed perfect picture, and then it unpixelates when he closes
The
it out.
enhance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just takes me back. It almost looked like the video game Doom.
Okay.
With the bordering around the image with like the gray boxes and stuff.
Yeah.
Like an old computer game. It was kind of fun.
This is where they go to, the MIB agents go to investigate the Rosenberg, kind of check out his place. But I guess they get there just after
Edgar
is there smashing everything up and then dealing with the tow truck driver. And I really like how close in proximity they are to each other, because you can, as K and J arrive, you can hear the motor of the winch that the tow truck driver is lifting the truck up with. And had Kay just kind of looked over, I think someone with Kay's experience would have clocked Edgar and thought, that guy looks off, and then look at the truck and look at the state of the truck and that sort of thing. I think had he looked over, he'd have put it all together. But it's a nice little few beats while they're inside the jewelry, Rosenberg's jewelry place, and then they figure out the cat thing. So it sets up a fun little chase, I guess.
It was I didn't notice this until this viewing, but you know how the tow truck driver's got his own gun?
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
well, stupid he doesn't pull it out, but anyway, I like after the fact you see Edgar jauntily walking back with both his gun and the other guy's gun. Like just to let you know he took care of that guy without showing you he took care of the guy. I just like that little his walking in this movie just is top notch from D'Onofrio. Just the
for sure
awkward, I don't even know how you walk like that. You gotta really try to look that uncoordinated and that uncomfortable.
I figured out what I think D'Onofrio was doing to do that walk. I think, and I'm sure we all know it, when you have to go to the bathroom really bad, but you're afraid of taking long strides because you might lose some muscle control. That's what he's doing, I think.
He's also got the arms, it's almost like he's got a coat hanger in his back, just kind of, I don't know.
I just love that. What third Star Trek series to talk about is in Discovery. Is it Jones that does a lot of creature stuff? He was in Silence and Buffy.
Doug Jones.
Doug Jones. He plays an alien, and he is the only one. And so he came up with this very distinctive way of walking. Yeah. And then 2 seasons later, I want to say, they show his home planet, and so they had to teach all the extras how to do that walk. Of all right, so you're gonna do your arms like this, but your legs will be doing this, and here are the very weird shoes that we developed for this one character's walk. Now we have an entire planet of you. Good times.
It's funny when you make a decision that then impacts so many people down the road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God. Okay, well, I think I've hit my limit on Trekkie related items. So
Yep.
I'm going to say no more unless I can squeeze in a Spaceballs reference
Oh.
to cleanse the palate. So
I'm sorry. I mean, in our defense, this is Men in Black, a movie about aliens.
Right.
So it's not completely unexpected that perhaps we would talk about other franchises.
see, to me, Star
Dealing with
Trek
aliens.
is the most nerdy thing I knew as a child, and I blame that on William Shatner for making fun of it on SNL. And even the people that were in it were like, "What is wrong with you nerds?" So
Yeah.
So when this movie came out, 97, I would have been deep in my, I've discovered Star Wars. I love Star Wars. Star Wars is my life.
Yeah.
I want to be the next George
I'm on
Lucas.
board.
This is all I care about, and Star Trek sucks.
Yep. Agreed.
I went through a deep phase of that, and then it was years later I decided to rewatch Next Generation because it was now available on streaming or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh my God, we live in the future now. And I remembered that my dad, and I knew my dad had watched Next Generation when I was growing up, but really all I cared about was that Data had a cat. Like and Geordi with and you would tip down your headband and pretend you were Geordi.
Right.
Like that was all I did. And then I was watching that and I was like, oh my God, at one point I had like a whole dance I'd made up to the opening credits of Next Generation.
Wow.
And I was like, I had totally forgotten that. And so now, like, I've rewatched all of Next Generation. I've watched all the new Trek. I'm almost done with season 1 of Deep Space Nine. I've been assured it gets good soon.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh wow, but there was that time where I was like, Galaxy Quest, those Trekkie nerds, I hate them. They're so stupid to like Trek better than Star Wars.
Yeah.
So anyway, that is not what we came here to talk about today.
No, it sounds like you're going through the same journey. I kind of am wrapping up because now we've just got to Voyager, so but have recently just gone through all of the previous Trek stuff. So
see, I fell asleep halfway through that conversation, but what I did hear was a business opportunity for you.
Yeah.
You need to get a Patreon going to show this dance that you just
TikTok.
mentioned. Because, damn.
Yeah.
I mean, I was a child.
No, that I think people will want to see just for the curiosity. So, no pressure, but you got some business opportunities there.
Yep.
There we go. Oh, man. Well, we're in a business that has been ransacked.
That's true.
And I don't know what happens to Rosenberg's store once he's gone.
Yeah.
Seems like the cat is his next of kin.
It all gets left to the cat.
Hey, it's happened.
Yeah. I like that Kay isn't concerned. You know, in a few of these scenes, Jay, flies off the handle. He's now drawn his gun, the noisy cricket, He's drawn the gun. He's fired it several times. And Kay is just like, hey, the world's ending all the time. He might say that later. I forget. But he...
No, it is here because at one point he's like, oh, he's like, there's always an alien about to invade.
Yeah. But here he's just like, he calmly, like, he knows that their job is to keep the public unaware, and that's kind of what he grabs Jay and says, you do not discharge your weapon in view of the public and everything. And then we do get the nice scene of like the special agents or whatever. They show up in the black van and they gather everybody and give them the whole fake line thing that I like. Jay tries to do that. He tries to give him Venus some swamp gas had exploded. Yeah. So,
can we talk about the noisy cricket's viability as a weapon?
I mean,
Oh my
sure.
God.
He should have
What
died
is
like
happening
3
with the noisy
times shooting that thing.
Yeah.
Like, you need to have a heavier agent or something. I don't know, something with more mass that doesn't get blown across the city streets.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, the kick on that thing is basically making it useless.
Yeah.
I'd almost rather give it to Edgar to shoot and then knock him out that way. Good Lord.
He's probably sturdy enough to fire
that's true.
it. Yeah.
He could probably handle it.
Yeah.
That'd be the giveaway that there's more mass than there should be.
Yeah.
We don't need giveaways. Everyone knows everything now.
Yep. But they don't know everything, so they have to go to Frank the Pug to get the someone who like a master in alien politics. I think is how what Kay says. I think Frank the Pug, was the Baby Yoda of its day.
Yeah,
For sure.
I like Jay in this scene. Like
I do too.
Talking to the people walking by, looking.
Yeah,
They're rehearsing.
the dog owes my friend money.
And I swear, I thought that guy when I first saw it, that's with Frank the Pug, I thought he was from Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yes, yes, for sure.
But yeah, that was a fun reveal in the theater when the dog was the alien and not the weird looking dude.
I feel like they ruined that in the trailer. I'm guessing. I think I remember meeting Frank the Pug in the trailer. I could be wrong, but
I thought that was in the second one because he comes back.
Yeah, but
he does.
I think you don't know who Frank the Pug is or why they're going to see him, but I do think that there's a clip of Will Smith saying, "Well, that guy's definitely an alien." Take a look. I forget what Frank says, but it's a one-liner.
Yeah, I wasn't plugged into trailers as much, probably because I wasn't really going to AOL chat rooms to look up trailers or something.
Yeah,
however it had to work.
I just Frank the Pug. I like here. He gets way overused.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and it just ties into that whole what's comic, the insult dog with Conan
Triumph
and everything. That was just a whole that was a whole phase that I could have done without.
Sure. Yeah, I feel pretty much the same way.
I forgot about Triumph. For me to poop on.
Oh God.
Yep.
Over and over.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's a lot of exposition here. Actually, there's a whole thing about the Arcalians, which I think are the little guy.
He was like a crown prince or something.
Yeah, he's a prince, and then the bugs. They just keep calling them bugs too. It kind of annoys me that the bugs don't get a weird, alien name. But
that's how it was in Starship Troopers too.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's something about. It even says, they're the Guardians of the Galaxy, which I thought was a fun, little. Not and this would not have been a reference at this point.
Someday you'll know about that, kids.
It's part of Marvel, right?
It was technically it was Malibu Comics, which was owned by Marvel. Yeah. But then there's some reference to in the galaxy that we'll find out is attached to Orion's belt. There's a source of subatomic energy there that the bugs want. So that kind of it's a little bit exposition dump of giving us a little motivation, I suppose, of why the bugs are after this galaxy.
Yeah, but it's an information dump by a pug.
Yeah.
So it works.
Yeah. It's kind of fun watching Tommy Lee Jones just shake a dog.
Yeah.
That probably would not. That would be a CG dog now, so that there wouldn't have to be a disclaimer at the end of
a puppet.
Yeah. Then we go back to the morgue, or this is when Edgar goes to the morgue and he interacts with David Cross.
Trying to pretend that he means the world to me.
A pet cat. Oh man, he is fantastic. But I like David Cross gets just to be this curmudgeonly just asshole.
Just unnecessary, but
we get the not so great chemistry scene with Jay and
definitely.
It's like, oh yeah, I will. Like it's just you got to see this.
Yeah. What always creeped me out / like I never fully understood was once Jay is like fully picking up on these not subtle innuendos and things that she's what he is perceiving as sexual innuendos, and he says that, look, I have to drive, it's not a macho thing, but
I didn't get that.
Okay, I've never really understood what he specifically means by that. Like, I don't know. It's always been unsettling, though.
Like, I don't know if it's like he's too exhausted after getting jiggy with it.
Right?
Drive.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, he's got to be in charge.
Yeah, it's real weird. I wish this whole scene had been reworked without the the sexual overtones, because it's building up to something that something that I don't get the sense that these two ever have a relationship on that level. And it also it doesn't work with, he's interpreting all these signals as advances. She's trying to get him to
get her out of
there. Yeah, take me with you. Look under the table. The whole pointing business it's weird. You would point more clearly to under the table rather than pointing at yourself. I don't know.
Well,
it's weird.
I always read it as her just pointing under the table.
Okay.
And that's when he realizes, oh, something else is going on here.
Yeah.
There's someone down there.
Yeah, she
It takes a long
gradually
time to get there.
Yeah, because at first she is pointing at her groin.
She really is. The first time that she points, it's more towards herself. And then kind of when she's, the last time she does kind of take a step back and then point under the table. I don't know. It's
Or she could use her eyes to like look down at the table.
Yeah.
But she's kind of trying to flirt in it, which is weird.
She's trying to pretend like she's flirting so that Edgar doesn't,
I never got that she was actually flirting. She's just trying to say stuff without Edgar realizing that she's giving him away.
Yeah.
I don't think Edgar is too smart to pick up on that stuff.
Yeah, but she doesn't know
Yeah.
Yeah.
The whole thing, I just wish this scene had been just reworked into something else. You know.
You could even still have had the same conceit. Just it needed someone needed to watch this scene in the dailies and be like, "Whoa, that did not play the way it looked on the page."
Yeah.
We need to.
This should have been done in reshoots,
this.
Watch the scene, does it work, and then go back in and redo it. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, because like you said, the idea that she was flirting with him earlier, so when he comes back, she says things that would be taken by Edgar as flirting to try and get him to take her out of there, to go in her off, to go anywhere other than at this table. And you've had this prior interaction, so that's why he's taking it as a come on. Like, there's a way to do that.
Yeah.
It and I even get like why this was on the page. Like I said, why this was on the page that way. Just someone needed to watch this. Someone needed to watch Will Smith and Fiorentino do this scene and be like, "Whoa, it's not working."
No.
We need to make it shorter, or we need to do different line readings or something.
Yeah. So at least it's broken up by the cat jumping into the scene, and that.
Thank God. Good job, O'Ryan.
Yeah, exactly.
Talk about bad instincts on its part.
Yeah.
Like jumping right onto the table that thing's on.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it hisses at it. It had to work up. It hisses when Edgar comes in. It has to build up its bravery, and now it's ready to attack.
Right.
Poorly.
Yeah.
Well, cats aren't always the smartest.
Yeah.
I say as someone who's currently living with a cat who's afraid of a mouse.
Oh.
That's how I found out there was a mouse. She literally jumped into my bed at 2 a.m. and was like, "Save me, mother!"
Oh, man.
I'm like, no, you're supposed to.
Yeah, yeah. It's a weird setup here when Edgar takes Laurel, he jumps out the window with her, they get into a cab, and he removes the seat beads and the little, I don't know what it's called, little ornament that's on the dash. He throws them out.
Yeah. And
that is purely done so that Jay sees that and knows they're in a cab.
Yeah, it's weird.
It doesn't make sense, It's only set up for the next scene to give them a clue as to how they've escaped.
Yeah. It's not like he's going to be sitting in the driver's seat anyway. So it's
yeah. And then, we get a little chase, and Kay picks him up in the car, and then they go back to MIB headquarters. This is where Kay and Zed are trying to figure out how they're going to leave, and then you find out that a lot of aliens are now abandoning ship.
I like these little, almost like asides that we get back in MIB headquarters, where you see it escalating from one guy is leaving town.
Yeah.
Many people are leaving town. Everyone in this building is leaving town.
Well, even Frank the Pug was like, I need to be walked before I leave. And then in this scene, I think Zed says that Frank took the last or was on the last escape craft or whatever.
Yeah, I like them running through all their little like options.
Yeah, and I like that. Jay figures it out that hey, what about these two ships that are part of the World's Fair, kind of in disguise? Do they still work? So that takes us to that World's Fair. I don't even know what you.
Oh, it's the part. I've been lost there, and
I've flown over it when I flew into.
Okay, I know where we are.
Yeah.
I'm usually over by the Sphere, though. I don't know these guys as well. I like that there is the setup. Like, it makes sense that there's a mural of these.
Yeah, sure.
In MIB, because we've established that was the original. First contact. Yeah, I'm trying to think if this is what. No, my kid walked in as the ship was crashing, so that's further down. Okay. But yeah, I had a moment of like, should I be shooing you out of the room now? And then nope, he was totally into it. So.
Yeah, I like that we get to find out how global warming and climate change really occurred, and it's the warning shot from the Carillions at our polar ice caps.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Oh, the Galactic Week. That was the running gag. I know. 1 hour or something.
1 hour, yeah. Which
1 hour.
I wish played out. I don't know, differently. Maybe this scene should come earlier because they establish they have 1 hour, and then Jay and Kay leave. They get in the car. The car turns into a transformer, which propels them, obviously at crazy speeds. And then they show up in Queens, and then they say they have 8 minutes left.
Yeah.
So it really took you almost an hour to get to the car, to drive the car. I mean, they're not that far from...
Your car is magic.
Yeah, so it's weird to say you have an hour and then you have 8 minutes when you've just taken this rocket car through this tunnel. So, yeah, so that whole car scene, I think it's fun, but I think it could have come somewhere else in the movie. It just feels tacked on when.
Well, you had to get the Elvis song in there.
Yeah.
Which was awesome,
you had to pay
by the
off
way.
the little red button.
Right.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and the red button.
Yeah.
The galactic time kind of messes my brain because I thought they were on like some kind of day that is like 37 hours or 36 hours.
Yeah.
But then there's a galactic standard week that's an hour. So
it's all, you're all dealing with all kinds of different time zones. Yeah.
Like, I was surprised. I didn't remember it being an hour. So
sure.
I was like, wait, we just got a dump that said a day was like 37 hours. So how is a week 1 hour? It's just get your time figured out, Galaxy.
Yeah. And then everything kind of happens pretty quick at this point because Edgar is trying to take Laurel, with him, climbing up these towers.
Snack.
I'll need a snack.
Yeah. She gets away from him, and then it's pretty quick. Like, he gets in the ship, and it takes off, and it's kind of a cool little scene of the ship, becoming a ship again and taking off. And
I was going to say, I think they did well where, yes, he takes Laurel captive because he'll need a snack. And then she falls. And then he's kind of like, it's not worth going back down. And that felt more like most movies. I feel like this would have been much more ham-fisted to make sure that Laurel's where she needs to be when she needs to be there.
Yeah.
Well, once you drop a human in a tree, they just don't taste the same anymore.
Yeah.
I forgot how, I guess, a lack of urgency once he was in the ship to get out of Earth's atmosphere. Like, he's just strolling around the ballpark and
well, that's because they shot him, right?
Well, no, they hadn't shot him yet.
Like, that's right, because it was kind of starting to hover above the ballpark.
Gets hit in the head, and like he's just kind of floating there. Like,
that's
this ship is
that's old, I guess.
30 years older than anything he would have used. I mean,
you got to warm up the car before you just.
I guess, I was surprised it worked.
This is my headcanon that I've just made up. Edgar, the Bug's ship was an automatic, and this is a standard.
There you go.
And so, like, he kind of knows what he's doing, but he's got to, like, acclimate to how these controls work.
And that's actually, you're probably kind of onto something because the ship is definitely older. He came here in a much smaller, more sleek, he came in a roadster. Now he's getting into a jalopy. Because it's bigger, it's bulkier. It probably doesn't have the same technology that he came in. So I buy that.
But
It's also I'm pretty sure the aliens that arrived here were
They
your
weren't bugs.
typical like grays, the big eyes, gray alien kind of. So
see,
he's not one of them. So
if anything,
might
that ship should have fit him better, because I don't understand how he fit in that ship to begin with.
well,
That he came in on. The bigger
he can
ship
get
should have been more
compact.
his size, but he
Yeah.
stays in the Edgar
Yeah.
suit for some reason.
Yeah,
Because when he exits, he's still Edgar.
yeah,
Yeah, it was my kid came out when they shot it, and like as the ship is coming around and does that big landing,
Yeah.
his eye, my child he's 4.
Oh, okay.
So his eyes just got, so he's like, what is this? And what I told myself was, if he can handle the Edgar reveal, the bug reveal, then fine.
yeah.
Because I was like, okay, sometimes there's an S word.
Sure.
Like, he's not even going to notice
that's
that.
gonna go over.
And I
yeah.
said, I was like, I'm watching a movie. It's about aliens. And so I said, like, they just shot down his ship. The alien's going to come out. He's actually a big bug.
Nice.
So, and then, like, as he was reaching his hands, I'm like, oh, here he
that's the
comes. Like,
rough
trying
spot.
to psych him up.
Nice.
Like, something scary is coming. Please don't freak
Yeah.
out. So, and the fact that he was like, I don't know. He watches, like, Paw Patrol and Octonauts and all that stuff. So I'm like, there's going to be a big bug. And he's like, whoa.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, you're fine then. If you can handle
Nice.
a human being turning into a giant cockroach, you're not going to have any problem with the little bit of gunplay that's left in this movie.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, he was very, I think just like that hero shot of it crashing in front of them with their 2 guns, like he was all about it. So I think that went
How did you like that
Nice.
shot? Like, just the green screenish look.
I think it mostly holds up.
I like that they attempted to make the dust commingle, like on set
Yeah.
with the dust on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I mean, you could tell it's pretty dated,
yeah,
but they were trying with the wind and the dust, and
Yeah.
I'll give them credit, but man, it just is
yeah,
painfully obvious.
yeah.
I think it's just the color saturation is so.
I noticed that too.
Maybe that's the HDification of it, and maybe it wasn't
Probably.
as bad on VHS or theaters, but
Yeah. Well, because the ship crashing and driving like into the earth,
yeah.
that is so crystal clear because they're obviously using a miniature and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But then, in the foreground you have J and K, and they look washed out. They look blurry.
Yeah.
Those 2 layers don't really match that well.
That is 100% my problem with the special editions of Star
Oh.
Wars is that they did not match the new CGI to the grainy 70s.
Yeah.
film.
Yeah.
And not that I think the additions were like necessary and like whatever, but where they just added in little shots
Yeah.
of, the thing flying by in Bespin.
Sure.
Just freaking match it to the film, and like 95% of the complaints about it would go away.
No, you're right.
It takes you so out when it doesn't match.
Mm.
Yep.
If it's all cheesy or all
Right.
CGI,
Yeah.
it's fine. It's the
Just
going
make
back
them
and
match.
forth.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I thought this movie did a really good job, because usually when you have this, usually when you have something, you're in like that crisp MIB, area.
Yeah. And I think for the most part, we get Edgar's bug reveal. And although one line I like right before that, he says, you don't matter. In fact, a couple seconds, you won't even be matter. I do like that.
It's a good one.
I never
But then
understood that, because doesn't he know he'd be destroyed too?
He's planning on getting off the planet. So he thinks he's going to escape and the other aliens are going to vaporize everything.
He's assuming a lot. Like,
Yeah.
that other
Yeah.
ship that's like 60 years old is going to work.
Yeah,
That's dangerous confidence he's got.
true. I think for the most part, though, we see the bug reveal. I think it kind of works. It's a little glossy and shiny,
Yeah.
and compared to everything else,
And he loses his banter ability.
totally. Yeah.
Yep.
Now
For
he's just a
whatever
big
reason.
monster. Vincent D'Onofrio, he's gone. So
He's just clickety clacking.
yeah.
I didn't like that part. Like, I just wish he would have stayed sentient,
Yeah.
but maybe it would have looked weird.
Yeah, because Jay's whole role in this is to keep him here, keep taunting him and everything. Kay, decides he's going inside the bug.
Oh,
That happened so much quicker than I
Yeah.
remembered. He swallows the guns, and then Kay is like, okay, well, I'm out.
I did love the, like, it makes him a more viable villain, a more viable adversary, that he is just like, ate your guns. What are you gonna do now? Like, it's just so, it's just, like you said, it's so fast. It's so like, yeah, this being is in many ways superior. Like, totally could kick our butt.
And then the whole taunting thing from Jay, it doesn't make sense that it wouldn't just, it could kill the two guys at the restaurant so fast with just piercing the necks. Why wouldn't it do that with Jay, So that's a little, whatever. But one quotable thing my wife and I have with this movie is, if we're just like, doing that play, antagonizing each other, teasing each other or whatever, she always says, don't start nothing, won't be nothing. For some reason that is one line from this that has still to this day as part of our lives.
So conveniently, the blast doesn't destroy the galaxy that they didn't know was in there.
Yeah,
and,
it's over pretty quick after that. Yeah,
they find the galaxy in the goo, and all is well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then
wraps up pretty dang quick.
It does.
No.
Oh,
There always come back once more.
Yeah.
Very scream of it.
I guess the
Which is
top
very
half
sweet
was
to my kid.
together enough and had some limbs to drag itself around to.
That was fun for my 4-year-old to be like, it's moving.
Oh, yeah. I kind of like that
he hasn't seen Scream. He doesn't know this is a trope.
Okay. I do kind of like that they show it crawling around in the background.
Mm-hmm.
That's a kind of fun. I love Jay is recapping what he did on the outside. I threw this rock and then it kicked me, and it hurt. Kay kind of chuckles at him saying it hurt.
Are you proud of me, Daddy?
Yeah. I like that. Yeah, and then
things get real.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think about the whole Kay planning to retire, and this has been about finding his replacement and not his partner?
Yeah, you get that with the whole montage of him checking out his old lady.
I
guess.
He's
not happy with where he is.
Yeah. I don't buy that was always his plan.
Yeah, right.
I think when he recruited when he first, ID'd, hey, this cop who's a loner and has no family and can handle the aliens, he'll be good. I think that feels more like a partner. And then when he's looking at her and thinking, maybe as he sees Jay in this role, he's like, oh, wait a minute, this could be my ticket out of here.
Right.
This guy can handle it, and therefore, I could retire.
Yeah.
Because I feel like Dee's retirement kind of hit him because he repeats the same line about the stars.
Yeah.
And I think that got him thinking. So
I just wish
I could kind of buy it, but at the same time, I don't think it was his, like you're saying, his first goal was replacing Dee, followed by, man, maybe I'm getting too old for this. And what have I got?
I feel like he needs to be older if he's going to be ready for, because Dee was way too old to still be in the field.
Seeing Dee maybe made him think, I don't want to retire and have nothing left that I can do.
That's fair.
He wants, what is it, what's the retire early?
Oh, yeah.
See, the scene you guys don't see is Dee is put into a nursing home when he gets flashied.
Right.
Because he's got dementia and is 78 years old.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Even if Dee had a perfectly happy life, we've established the whole point is they're loners. They have no connections. And he's in his late 70s. What is Dee going to do?
Right.
Even in the best possible situation, what is Dee doing? And maybe he is telling the truth. Maybe Kay looked at that and was like, whoa, I need to get out while I still can have a life.
Yeah. And that's definitely, that makes a lot of sense. That's definitely why they did the Dee scene at the start, to show that he doesn't want to be in that spot. That does make a lot of sense.
And he was never supposed to be this man in black.
Right. Yeah.
He just happened to be there.
The thing I think that ticks me off is just from experience. Why is that the policy of MIB, to erase all that knowledge?
Yeah.
Like they could be like consultants or trainers, but no, they just wipe all that intel and information from their team.
Yeah.
Like that's just poor planning by management,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
And spoilers for the sequels. They regretted it instantly.
Right. I forget how they bring him back in the second one, but I think it's a
Secret
very quick
messages
like
that Kay leaves behind.
yeah.
It's so
Yep.
stupid.
Hmm.
It's like, oh crap, this made 200 something million. We got to bring him back.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I'd rather leave this movie knowing that this is a partnership that's going to continue.
Yeah.
Because I want to see more of these two. I don't get the feeling, Jay is not ready to be,
No.
especially to be partnered up with Elle.
There's another new.
And two newbies. Yeah, it just does not make sense. So I'm not. I don't know.
It was the late 90s, and racism and sexism were solved,
Right.
and everything was going to be fine.
Yeah.
They had to get rid of the old
And
white
the black
guy.
man and the white lady could be partners.
Yeah.
Out with the old white guy, bring in, Will Smith and
Right.
a lady partner.
Which I do
and-
love. I'm sorry, I know we're skipping ahead a little bit, but I do love his that he redoes his suit.
I hate that.
I'm like, could
I
you
hate
be
it.
any more drawing attention to yourself? Like,
Yeah.
I thought they were supposed to be forgettable, but you got that guy and a weird collar that.
And she's still in the classic, black tie.
Yeah.
Well, it's
But she's a lady, so
Yeah.
it's devious.
it's like
Yeah.
he's now suddenly in a movie from the far-flung future of 2000.
Because if she's supposed to be
weird.
inconspicuous, she needs to be in, a traditional housewife.
Sure.
What's a lady doing in a suit?
Right.
Don't you? That messed me up so much. In For All Mankind, I lost track. Once they hit like the mid 80s and the women started wearing pantsuits, I completely lost track of what year it was supposed to be.
Oh, yeah.
Because the women's pantsuit did not advance stylistically.
Right.
I think the torchbearer is Hillary Clinton,
Yep.
queen of the
Yep.
pantsuit.
Same suits.
Yeah.
All these years later.
Some shoulder pads, make yourself look bigger.
No. Oh my
I was just
God.
watching, what was that, 9 to 5, Dolly Parton and
Oh,
Lily Tomlin. Pants were like, what? Pants? Women? What?
It's like Katharine Hepburn did it in the 30s.
Yeah.
Get over
Yeah.
it.
So yeah, Dennis Rodman's an alien.
oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
That honestly is one of the things that has aged the
Oh, yeah.
worst in this movie.
Kids would be like, who?
Yeah.
He wore a
Yeah.
wedding dress and had colored hair, but played basketball in the 90s. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
We didn't understand him, so therefore
He was
the
an
joke is
alien.
he's an alien.
So yeah, I was going to talk about the marble scene, but
Yeah.
if you get
Go for it.
I did not need that. That was weird. I was like, was that thing that we were searching for also a marble that has another galaxy within it? And then
Yeah, I mean,
it's
I
like,
I think that's the idea.
yeah, I'm like,
yeah.
why is this even? So
It's
is somebody
just to
gonna
show
use
us that
for
we-
energy, like
Well,
it was a dystopian kind of ending.
we are such a small
Yeah.
thing in the universe.
It was a bummer. I was like, I'm just in a kid's marble bag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was.
Oh, see, I kind of
Conceptually, I get it. I like it.
I don't like it. It makes me feel
I-
insignificant. I am the center
Yeah.
of the universe, Travis. Come on. I am human.
Bad news
Oof.
about the sun for you.
I am human.
Right.
We are the peak of
Yeah.
existence.
Yeah, that's right.
I can't be in a marble bag. And
So I like this ending. I didn't like that it continued to
Oh.
the other. It's like
Yeah.
now we have to end every Men in Black movie
Yeah.
with another level, and it was like, okay, no, I didn't need that.
Guilt-
Yeah.
I didn't need it to be a running
guilty
gag.
pleasure, I did like the locker civilization in the sequel, where Jay puts his watch in there.
Oh yeah,
Sure.
So I did enjoy that, but this was a step too far.
I forgot about that.
It's like that, and what kind of advanced civilization is playing marbles? Oh,
Yeah.
good lord.
Well, that's the thing. Maybe they're not even advanced. They don't
Oh,
even
that's
know
even
that they
worse.
have galaxies in their
Yeah.
marbles. I wish the CG looked better on that. That looks
Yeah.
like that
Yeah,
looks so
that's
dated.
Very...
It just made me depressed. I was like, what does
Yeah.
it all mean? I'm just a marble bag and like a speck inside of a marble inside of a marble bag. What are we doing here?
They were just trying to prepare us for the multiverse.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah. So, Let's do most heroic and most villainous, and let's start with most heroic.
I believe there's a hero in all of us
I just finally know what I have to do.
that keeps us honest,
I'm here to fight for truth and justice in the American way.
gives us strength,
You will give the people of Earth an ideal to strive towards.
makes us noble.
And I know in my heart that it's right.
Anything stand out? Anything kind of jumping out at you?
Well, you guys told me to think of these. So there are many. I would say most heroic shot has got to be Laurel with the gun at the end. That's just a typical like stereotype of that. But I wanted to give my most heroic moment to Jay coming up with a backstory for Beatrice. In fact, you left him.
That's right.
And like it's played for comedy, but it really does show like that Jay is a good guy. Jay has a lot of sass in this movie, but he deep down he has the heart of gold.
Mm-hmm. No, that's a great one.
He wants Beatrice to be happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say it's probably that ship crashing into the globe shot. Like, just like two guys that just took care of business, took out that ship and brought it conveniently right back to where they were, like a boomerang.
Right.
Yeah.
I was going to go with Laurel shooting the bug at the end.
What is it about that camera angle just slightly below?
Mm-hmm.
Just like, look at your chin.
Yeah.
A hero.
Yeah, I think it's like what all Instagram people do. They always take it at that angle to make themselves look better. So, you know, if I go like this, I can get all my chins.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're like up here, no chins.
Yeah. I've been watching just for pure like guilty pleasure watching all the Transformer movies, and the amount of times that Michael Bay will put a camera below the car door mirror and shoot someone coming out of the car, you know, just that same angle of like real low and shooting up at you know underneath somebody. It's amazing.
Yeah, he likes that and swooping around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. So how about for most villainous?
This planet, these people, they are nothing to me.
You were made to be ruled.
The universe's power. You unstoppable power. Come to me, son of Jor-El. Kneel before Zod. And I am that force. I am that power.
In the end, you will always kneel.
Kneel before your master.
Oh, you don't have to.
I got one.
Oh,
I like
right.
the part where he stuffs the exterminator in like with his own like gas rod.
Yeah.
Whatever. I thought that was just like the coolest, like this is who this villain is kind of moment. He cares for cockroaches and not so much for humans. He even gets that little spiel in there about I have noticed an infestation.
I've got to go with when we first meet Edgar, you know, just the voiceover of, you know,
just Edgar
Beatrice,
the human.
you walk around here like you're a dog who is beaten too much or ain't been beat enough. I'm not sure which, you know, just that's a dark picture into their lives.
He's almost better when he gets taken over.
Well, at least he leaves, you know.
Yeah.
So that to me, it's like he was a piece of shit before becoming a bug.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that's a really good point. Although I'm still going to give my most villainous moment to when Edgar kills the prince and his bodyguard in the restaurant.
Yeah.
Because it is just, it's so fast.
Yeah.
It comes out of freaking, you assume there's going to be this big showdown, and it's just like, nope. Ploop,
yep.
Ploop, done.
Yeah, efficient. That's what? Humane.
Sure.
Did it quickly. Didn't drag it out.
Yeah, but it's and he's just so like, you're right about one thing.
Yeah.
And then it's just like,
Yeah, at first I thought he was gonna suck out by stabbing, like, but he seems to just sting rather than like use it as like.
Yeah, you think it's gonna like inject them with poison or something, not go all the way through their necks and just kill them both. Yeah.
It was just real gnarly.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's give kind of our final thoughts and rate it. I can go first. Okay. I think the first half of the movie I'm definitely more into than the second half. The second half kind of feels more routine, and not because I've seen it so many times, but just once Edwards becomes Jay, then it almost feels a little paint by numbers, and I found myself enjoying the lead up and the mystery and all that stuff of who are the men in black and all that. But then once it becomes more of an action comedy, it's this time for me was a little, kind of, like I said, just routine, kind of going through the steps. But I mean, overall, I've gotten so much enjoyment from this movie throughout my life, just not here in the later half. But it was interesting to rewatch it, and for something that I was so familiar with back then, to rewatch it now. But I give it a solid. I was struggling with like a 3.5 or a 4. I don't know that I'd quite give it a 4, but but we'll give it a 4. I'll give it a 4.
What's our highest possible rating?
5.
All right.
Doing some
we get it.
rudimentary sign language here.
Yeah.
Yep. That doesn't work on a podcast.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do this out of order. I'm giving it a 5 because there are not many movies that I watched on repeat in 1997-98 that I can still watch and enjoy.
Yeah, that's fair.
That is rare. And the fact that I even thought like, he is fat shaming the other cops. Like, that is the most 2022 thought I've ever had in my life. But it is of a different time, but it is still totally enjoyable in this time.
Mm-hmm.
And like it goes to credits, that song starts playing.
Oh man.
And my 4-year-old he starts dancing. And I was just like, first of all, I've never felt so old in my life watching a 4-year-old dance. And I was like, he has no idea that there was a music video that we all remember. Like, but the fact that he was like, I hear this music and I know it's time to dance. It's like, oh man, even the next generation gets it. Like, he's never going to understand that Rodman joke at the end, but the movie still worked. Even with all the pop culture references, even with all the 90s jokes, it still worked. That is amazing to me. That just, I said at the beginning of this, between Independence Day and Men in Black, it was just like, wow, this Will Smith guy, he's not going to just be on television anymore.
Wow. Well, I'm going to split the difference. I'm going 4.5. I'm knocking it a half point due to fashion reasons, of course. Very distracting, very 90s. And also for some of the weird special effects and CG stuff.
Yeah.
Just didn't stay with me. But yeah, I enjoy the movie.
Yeah.
Thoroughly. It's like you said, it does get formulaic at the end, but there's a reason that formula is still around.
Yeah.
It works. And Tommy Lee and Will Smith, I could never have imagined a better pairing and a more unlikely pairing. Like, it's almost like 48 Hours with Eddie Murphy and was it Nolte?
Right.
Just like that works for me, where you have like an out of touch grizzled person and then like the new fresh face kid. Like,
sure,
I'm a simple person and that's just always going to work on me.
I love the putting the team together parts of movies.
Yeah.
And it is more formulaic in the second half, but it does a better, like, there are some movies where once we get into the actual plot of the storyline, the movie is drag. At least this, it still kept moving.
Sure.
Yeah,
and it had a good villain.
Yeah.
I mean, we all picked him as our villain from different points, so.
Yeah, I think R.I.P.D. is a perfect example of how this will not work with Ryan Reynolds and
sure,
what's his face,
Jeff Bridges.
Yeah, Jeff Bridges. He's forever Lebowski to me now. Like,
yeah, of course,
he's lost his actual name. He did so good in that, but yeah. All right, so we're all good. This is a good movie.
4.5. That's a solid rating for Men in Black. Tierney, plug away.
My plug is easy because I made a website. The making of the website wasn't easy, but now I can just tell people to go to onesteelsister.com. And the nice thing is, if you don't want to go to a website because you're a cool Gen Z or whatever who has no idea what we've been talking about for the past couple hours, you can just go to One Steel Sister at Twitter, Instagram. I am not on TikTok. I refuse to learn a new social media. But if I'm on a social media, I'm at One Steel Sister. So it's pretty easy to find me. Consistent across the boards. And I did that because I started podcasting knowing that I wanted to write a book, and I did.
Yeah, talk about the book.
I wrote a book, and it exists, and it has an ISBN, and it's in at least 2 libraries that I know of. It's very exciting. So yeah, I wrote a book. I had done a podcast on American Graffiti, and I just kept thinking, like, wow, it is amazing to me. Senior year of high school is just such a weird time in everyone's life. Doesn't seem to matter what your high school experience was, where you live, what music you're listening to. It just is a weird time for everyone, and I was fascinated by it. And so I basically wrote an updated American Graffiti. What if it was my generation?
Right.
So I always keep saying 1999. It's not. It takes place August 26, 2000. But it is very much of that 90s, and each chapter title is a song that they're listening to. And so I had a lot of fun putting that together. And it's just, it's me and my friends, but fit into that mold that the wonderful George Lucas, because I told you I wanted to be the next George Lucas. So,
well, I mean, they made American Graffiti, and then they made Dazed and Confused, you know, set, I think, I mean, we're ready for the next, like, what's a movie about 20 years ago era, you know, high school kids. So
we had Superbad.
That is actually, so it is very fictionalized. I always keep telling people are like, oh, you're the main character. I'm like, no, she's way cooler than I am. The one thing I did do was I gave her my car that I had in high school that I loved, that was a vintage car, so that if a movie ever is made of my book, I have an excuse to buy that car again. That was the pure self-service that I did.
Nice.
Hit that.
I've never seen American Graffiti.
I hadn't either until coming on Tierney's show. So
have you seen Dazed and Confused?
Yes, but
you've seen American.
Okay.
yeah.
I know Ron Howard's in it.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
so
it's
I probably
a good
thought
movie.
It was a Happy Days movie.
Yeah.
Happy Days was basically the spinoff, but the totally cheesy spinoff. The movie is, I think, a lot more fun. I know people who love that movie. I know people who hate that movie. I have a friend who was like, "Oh, that movie just drags," and I was like, sliding my book back across the table away from her, like, never mind.
Yeah, it's one I gotta check out. I just have never gotten to it.
Yeah. Well, so I do a podcast every summer talking about a summer movie, and that is It's the Last Night of Summer before everyone splits up for college. And that was I just, man, a movie like that where you just feel like how hot it still is at like 10:30 at night. That's what I needed. So cool. That was a couple summers ago. I'm doing The Sandlot this summer.
Makes sense.
So cool. I started podcasting a while ago. And I just always assume when I finish a show that I'm done.
Right.
And somehow I never
Well, thank you so much for coming on. I'm really excited that we got you on for this, and it was fun talking about Men in Black.
Thank you for having me on a show where it's like a movie from my childhood.
Yeah.
Yay! We didn't have to discuss incredibly awful, awkward things. Yay! So thank you.
Yeah.
That was a delight.
So I guess we'll be back next time with another CG stellar movie.
Yeah.
1997's Spawn.
Oh man, I
can't wait to see how that holds up.
Yeah, I watched Spawn so many times in theater and on VHS, and as a kid, like that's a movie I grew up with basically in my teens, but have not revisited it, so I'm a little worried.
Yeah, I remember Leguizamo's a little demon thing, and there's a really weird devil at the end. It
was bad then.
Yeah,
the CGI on it.
I felt like the cape was okay. Yeah, maybe, but yeah, we'll see how bad it really.
Right.
hell's up.
So yeah, until next time, stay safe out there, citizens.
It's time. Imagine a substance with the power to destroy humanity. Imagine a creature insane enough to use it. Imagine a hero on the verge of creation. From flesh to steel.
You must visualize your objectives.
From blood to blade.
Don't get cocky. You have a lot more to learn.
From man to spawn.
Peekaboo. I see you.
We have harvested the ultimate weapon. Makes the Ebola virus look like a skin rash.
Congratulations. I say destroy the cosmos, ask questions later.
Who are you?
This is just what they want. You're playing their game. Then now play dirty.
You've been violated, girly man.
Use your armor!
Now stay sharp. The night is young.
This summer, evil has a new enemy. Justice has a new weapon. And the world has a new hero. Spawn.
Thanks for listening to the podcast. Find the show on Facebook and Twitter at Real Comic Heroes. All music and audio are the property of their respective creators.